Joe, you have anything else before we talk BFL?
No, let's talk some BFLs.
All right. Well, in that case, we're ready for the BFL Weekly Update.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Number one, Great Lakes Division on the Mississippi River at Prairie du Chien. I don't really know.
I'm going to go with Chien. Prairie du Chien.
All right.
I don't know, but.
At the place that's not lacrosse.
Yep.
Clayton Reitz caught 15 pounds, 4 ounces for the win. I'm going to let him talk about that right now.
I stayed on pool 10 and stayed fairly close to takeoff. I bet I burned, probably 8 gallons of gas, maybe, only. I caught all smallmouth. I caught about, I'd say, 9 or 10 keepers all day long. Had my first 5 spots, I didn't catch anything. And then my next 5 spots all panned out to get me a limit. And I probably called. I bet I called 5 fish throughout the day.
All right, cool.
Got the better ones. Better ones came. Better ones came later in the day. I had a small limit, in the first couple hours, and then I was able to call almost all those out later in the day. Caught one or 2 on a tube, and then the rest of them on crankbaits, Rapala crankbaits, and most of the fish came off sand drops where bait fish were present, and then the other ones came on just rock banks. When I called all the little ones, I thought I had a chance because I had two that were like 3.5 pounds, and then and the rest were all pretty nice. And I figured I was one big fish away. If I could get another 3.5 or 4 pounder, I figured I'd have a chance to to be up near 16 pounds, which was what I thought we would take. And I had one on. I ended up breaking the damn thing off. And then I was so I spent most of the day saying I can't let that one, cost me. And then the day went on, and I was able to call maybe one last time, but it was just a couple ounces. And so I knew I had about 15 pounds, and I thought I would be, probably top 3, but I didn't. I figured someone would have, 16 pounds of largemouth on a frog, and it wouldn't be enough. So I weighed in. I was the first boater to weigh in, actually, and then I had to sit there for an hour and a half and wait. So it was I was kind of surprised. Actually, I put my boat on the trailer and drove around, and probably got back to the weigh-in. It was halfway through, and I was shocked to hear I was still leading. And then somebody weighed in 13 pounds, and he was in second. I was like, wow, its weights are really down today. So when I heard 13 pounds was in second, I thought, I might actually pull this off, and then it had happened.
All right. So as you heard, he caught all smallmouth, which is awesome. He also pronounced Rapala incorrectly. The bait he threw was a Rapala DT6. He threw it in a shad color.
Here we go again.
If by here we go again you mean why do you keep fighting me on this, then yeah, here we go again.
So, okay, hang on. You said it was a shad-colored DT6?
Yeah.
All right. What was he throwing it around, or was that in the audio?
Well, it was in the audio,
okay.
Which you didn't listen to, because that's not how we do these podcasts,
Burn.
guys. It's just part of the of the way it is. Would you like me to tell you that, or do you want that to be a mystery?
No, I'll go back and listen. I just don't get to listen to it while we're recording. So
I could innovate and make that happen next time if you wanted to.
As long as he covers it in the interview, our listeners are happy.
They'll be happy because he covered it very well.
All right. Congratulations to Clayton Reitz. Any other things you wanted to say about that event?
No.
Okay.
Next up, the Michigan division fished on the Detroit River, which basically means some of them fish on the Detroit River, some of them fish on Lake Erie, and some of them fish on Lake St. Clair. And Chris King caught 22 pounds, 11 ounces.
Where did he choose to fish?
Lake Erie.
Okay.
He fished a variety of offshore structure from about 18 to 28 feet deep, around some rock piles, some edges, some drops, stuff like that. Caught all his fish on a drop shot, all smallmouth. It was interesting. He was telling me that he actually lost a bunch of fish early in the day. He lost 3 or 4 good ones early in the morning, and he was really, kind of down, thinking he wasn't going to win. Because usually when you lose fish, especially in a BFL, that's not a recipe for winning. Usually things go right when you win. And he ended up battling back, catching more fish, and boom, came in with a W.
All right. Congratulations, Chris King.
All right. And then finally, Piedmont division. Or is it Piedmont? Piedmont division. I kind of like Piedmont. They had their super tournament, 2-day event, enhanced payouts.
Super tournament.
Yeah. On Kerr Lake, Brandon Gray caught 22 pounds, 14 ounces over 2 days.
I got 24 pounds, 14 ounces.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is 24 pounds, 14.
Okay.
That's what I have written down. I just can't read.
2-day total.
Yeah, which is 9 fish, by the way. Didn't weigh in
Wow.
the limit on the first day. And we've got his audio right now.
Yeah, well, I live on the lake here, and hadn't fished a BFL since, 2008 or 9 maybe, but just decided to get in it. Summertime is usually my time on the lake, but this year the lake has been up higher than normal. We've been getting torrential rainstorms every afternoon, and usually the lake is 3 to 4 foot down, but it was about a foot high this week, and it's been like that all year. So 2 weeks ago, I got in the tournament 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was I thought it was about a 17 to 20 pound bag to be caught every day. It was getting good out deep. And then, like I said, it rained and the lake come up. And when that happens, the fish scatter out. And it kind of just destroyed what I had put together 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I practiced 4 days for the tournament. And practice was off and on, fairly good. Had a couple good days of practice and 2 bad days of practice. But anyway, I fished the first day of the tournament Saturday. I fished deep for him, and let's see, the first place I went to, I think I caught 20, but only had 4 keepers out of the 20 I caught. And I just thought I could catch, and I had 30 more places to hit, and I just thought I could catch another good fish out deep, and it just never happened, And I actually ended up going shallow the last couple hours, thinking I could get one up shallow because we had clouds and a hard front coming in this weekend, and the northeast wind was blowing right good. But it just didn't happen. I only had 4 fish the first day. And then yesterday, Sunday, I had found some fish up the lake. Those fish were on boat docks, and they were probably 4 or 5 foot deep. And so I decided just to take a gamble and go up there and fish those fish, do something different. And the weather was kind of helping that more than the offshore bite. Yeah, we had cloud cover, a little bit of sun popping out here and there, but ended up those fish moved, and I went up there and just searched for them again and actually found them. This fish was about 6 to a foot deep up in anything it could get around in on the bank, and I caught them just pitching Havoc pit balls.
Nice.
Yeah, and ended up catching probably around 10 or 12 keepers up there all day.
All right, so Brandon, he talked extensively, really covered basically everything. The one thing to mention is his morning spot on the first day of the event where he caught his 4 bass. He caught them on a flutter spoon, and it was really a key morning time bite. It was a small window. It was fish keen on bait. that they just came in, he could catch them for a while, and then they would move back out and disappear. So that was sort of the way it laid out for that particular, happening.
Nice. And now that was their Division Super Tournament, so their Piedmont division is wrapped up for the year.
Correct. And I didn't look to see who the Angler of the Year was, and I didn't look to see who's qualified for the regional, but yeah, those are all done now.
Okay.
And the Piedmont division is over. They've either made the regional or they haven't.
That was the first one as well, right? That's the first division that's wrapped up for the year?
Yes, it was.
All right.
Although we're about to wrap up a lot more coming up.
Right.
It's going to get busy.
6 a week for the next month, basically.
Yeah.
It's a lot of press releases for Jody White. Well, congratulations to Brandon Gray with the great 2-day performance and, taking home the nice check.
And, I mean, man, he crushed him on the second day. He caught a really big bag. I think it was the biggest bag of the tournament. May not. I may be close. I may not be right on that.
I think I remember that from the press release.
I think it was the biggest and definitely made a big jump.
Which you have to do when you only weigh in 4 fish on the first day. So.
Yeah, you really kind of do. All right, so that's it. And that has been the BFL Weekly Update. For more like this, check out the rest of the FLW podcast at flwoutdoors.com or on iTunes.